and you're listening to Flashpoints on Pacifica Radio. We're here in Santa Cruz. With my co-host Miguel Molina. We turn our attention to, well, the homeless in this community are fighting back. They're fighting back. They're forming and have formed a union, and we are going to hear from some of the folks who are demanding that homelessness not be criminalized, because the powers that be, the sort of the Silicon world that would love to take over every aspect of this Bay Area, is pushing for a certain thing, and it has nothing to do with the rights of people, the rights of all people, the rights of homeless. Let me start by introducing you to a very courageous attorney, Anthony Prince, who is working Flashpoints. Good to have you with us. Set the scene. How did it get to this point where it was time to form this kind of union?
Well, Dennis, first of all, thanks so much for having us back on Flashpoints. It's good to be here. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King famously made a statement once, and he said, "Only in the darkness can you see the stars." And we're facing some very dark times here in the United States and here in this part of California. It's very dispiriting, it's very depressing, it's heartbreaking to see the city of Salinas, awash in $8 billion worth of agribusiness profits, kick 300 men, women, and children out of one of the largest homeless encampments in the state. It's heartbreaking and it's dark, but the stars are coming out. And I'm happy to have with me here today in Flashpoints the leaders of the newly established Salinas Union of the Homeless. You know, and I would just, by way of introduction, point out that we talk a lot about problems. These are serious problems, but I think we need to spend most of our time talking about solutions. And the solution is not just some idea that's a good idea or some a wonderful system that we might have at some point in the future, but what are we going to do now? What assessment can we make of this battlefield? Because if you look at it simply as the mean city council members versus the helpless homeless, then you've missed the whole point. Because I think we have to consider, why is this war going on? Why do we see at this time an intensification in this violent attack on homeless persons? And even the term homeless, the homeless, is something that really the ruling class concocted that term so that they could try to separate this section of the population away from millions and millions more who are only one step away from becoming homeless themselves.
All right, now let me just jump in here, Anthony Prince, and maybe you can talk a little bit about the process here. And what it is, it's an attempt by that power structure that you just described to criminalize the homeless. And there are various levels of activity in terms of criminalization, with the creation of laws and restrictions, and then the attacks, the crackdowns, the sweeps in which, you know, people's lives are turned upside down. So just set the scene there, because that it's out of those ashes comes this incredible concept, this fight back, this union.
Well, I think that it's certainly no secret that in the United States today, and certainly in the city of Salinas, there is an effort to make the status of being homeless into a crime. In other words, if the city enacts an ordinance such as they did, making it a misdemeanor crime, punishable by possibly up to 6 months in jail for simply placing an item of personal property on public property, then they've criminalized conduct which is unavoidable if you have no place to live, if you have no other place to store your personal possessions. They've criminalized an absolute biological, unavoidable act of conduct. So by way of criminalizing conduct, they're actually criminalizing the status of being a person without a home. But you know, again, I want to focus that, you know, it's increasingly becoming hard. I think most people in the United States are law-abiding people, and that's a good thing. I wish that the agricultural industry would also abide by the law and stop poisoning children, as we just discussed. I wish that we would have a pharmaceutical industry and a petrochemical industry which would abide by the law and not commit what amounts to negligent homicide. by marketing toxic products. But I think that we want to abide by the law, but unfortunately, the law as it now stands does not provide economic rights, economic human rights to people. Therefore, people are forced to engage in whatever they need to engage in order to survive. And by going after people who are just trying to make it. Again, I want to emphasize, Dennis, these are homeless workers. These are day laborers. These are people with disabilities. These are school children. Over 800 homeless school children in the city of Salinas. So we want to go beyond just saying help the homeless. We want to, and we built this union, and I'm happy to be general counsel for the Salinas Union of the Homeless, because we want to reach out. We want to show the community at large that this is not just the fight of the homeless versus the city of Salinas. It's the point, it's the thin edge of the wedge of 8 million people in poverty in the state of California.
Okay.
Why should 8 million people be pushed around?
Well, let's meet some of those people. Introduce us to our first guest who's a part of this new.
Okay, first of all, we have Mr. Van Gresham. Van is one of the 7 named plaintiffs in our federal lawsuit, and he is also one of the founders and on the executive committee of the Salinas Union of the Homeless, Van Gresham. We have Diana Blaylock sitting over here. She's also one of our outstanding leaders in the Chinatown area and has been down there fighting tooth and nail against these attacks by the city. And we have Wes White. Wes White is our official documentarian. Without Wes, well, we wouldn't have the kind of comprehensive photographic record we have of both the fight and the resistance. And of course, to my left, we have Councilman Jose Castaneda, who has been an ally and brother of the homeless and poor working class people for years.
One of the few politicians who actually has come out to join this battle, and we're going to hear from him in a moment, but introduce yourself and tell us about what this kind of action, this kind of union means to you.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Thanks for an opportunity to come get the word out. It just seems that the homeless people all over are kind of like banding together to form their own groups, and we certainly would vie to pull them all into one cohesive unit. I think there are many people of the population who have homes that are just one step away from being homeless themselves, and certainly they would be likely candidates to show solidarity with us.
When did you decide a union was necessary?
Actually, I've been working for quite a while on finding something for the homeless people to do to benefit themselves, and it just seems so necessary that you're going to have to pool resources and pool members and pool numbers to actually make any headway against this tide that we seem to be floating against.
What's a brief story that puts a human face on it in terms of what it's like to be in the street and have no rights?
Yeah, it would be one thing if this was if in other words if the police force and the city in general did absolutely nothing, that would be one thing, and that would allow you to be able to do what you could for yourself. Currently, there's not very much shelter space, not very much housing available, and just being able to do something for yourself, to find water, to provide shade, to provide warmth for yourself. All these things take a certain amount of materials and a certain amount of property that has to be on the city streets if you have nowhere else to put it. So when you have to provide shade for yourself, and when you have to get out of the elements, and when you have to bundle up, why are you not allowed to do so? You can't always say that, well, we look what all we do for you, but if you can't actually use that service, you have to do what you can for yourself. And so as long as you're not criminalized for just doing what necessity dictates to you, you're at least doing a mile ahead of you.
Yeah, you don't have actually even a chance to be human. And we have somebody else who's joining us. Let me ask you to introduce yourself, leaning right into that microphone. You don't need those headphones. Just lean right into that microphone.
Hi, my name is Diana Blaylock. I'm from Salinas, and I'm a leader, and I'm helping to fight on the voice for all the homeless. being homeless, you know, nobody chooses to wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm gonna be homeless today. It just happens, you know? And it's hard because I wake up every morning, you know, struggling, you know, figuring out what I'm gonna have for dinner, for breakfast, if I wanna make it for a shower, if I wanna get laundry done, you know, and I always have to get gas for my generator, you know, every night, you know, that's $5, you know, and then I gotta get propane, you know, for my stove so I can cook on it. You know, so it's a struggle every day, you know, and this is the first time I've ever been homeless, you know, and it just happened, you know, that I just couldn't afford the rent by myself, you know, and then I become disabled, and I've had spine surgery, you know, and I've got to recuperate in Chinatown, and it's been hard, you know, it's really, really been hard, and it's so sad, just like Mr. Price said, it's very sad to stand there, you know, and I've observed a lot of people, I've seen so much there, I've seen a lot, you know, and it's sad, you know, to see people, you know, struggling every day.
You mean a lot like people having all of their
Yeah, you know,
belongings
and I've seen
taken,
so many people,
given
there's been a
15
couple people
minutes
that
an hour.
died, you know, from the cold weather. You know, and it's like, now what they're trying to do is, you know, we have nowhere to go. There is no place for us to go. They're trying to take us out of Salinas. You know, so we're here fighting for the homeless. You know, and you know, we need all the help we can get, because come Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, they're gonna be there to start tearing things down. And everything that people have been in their little houses, it's everything they own in their whole life.
So there's a little village that is now filled,
Yeah.
that they're gonna come and.
Exactly, yes, you know, and people are asking questions, where do we go? What's gonna happen to us? You know, so we're out here, you know, speaking up, you know, going to the meetings, federal meetings, the courts, you know, council meetings, you know, so, you know, we're trying to stop this, you know, because, you know, there's so many people out there. There's senior citizens. A lady out there, 82 years old, that got dumped there. You're in a wheelchair. You know, there's people with mental health problems that get dumped out there. So, you know, what's going to happen to all of us? You know, so I made it my mission to help the homeless and speak up for them, because they have nobody to speak up for them. You know, so that's why, you know, we appreciate you guys giving us this really good time. You know, and we just ask people, you know, to help us come out, you know, and be supports with us. Because come 7 o'clock, you know, 7 o'clock, they already put their signs up. 7 o'clock in the morning, the cops going to be out there. They're going to have the bulldozers. They're going to start tearing everything down. You know.
Councilman, tell us about this policy. These are your colleagues who are forcing this kind of draconian policy that has put many people at risk. People have died. We know that. We've already reported on that. Your thoughts about this and what this struggle looks like? It's sort of two struggles here between the pesticides and the homeless. It's a pretty troubling situation.
Yes, Dennis, and I think you called it exactly what it is, the draconian laws, inhumane. Believe it or not, it's all interrelated. These social stressors are interrelated. Thank you to Dr. Ann Lopez and also to Mr. Mark Weller that were speaking about pesticides. This is the agricultural empire where we're at. We're in the mouth of the belly of the beast. Salinas Valley alone, I know Anthony Burns was mentioning 8 billion. I still think that's an underreported number. We're looking at $9 billion. B as in boy, $9 billion of profits. And we have, what you see in Chinatown is the microcosms, the after effects of what you see, the exploitation of the working class. This is not something that happened overnight. The city council are the same folks that are repeating history here, Dennis, in regards to the question you asked. Books of John Steinbeck, Indubious Battle, Grapes of Wrath, Mice of Men, were being burned as well by the same people that are still running the city. This is something that has been happening from generations to generations, because the poor, and back then with the Chinese immigrants coming, which is now established as Chinatown, the only Chinatown between San Francisco and Los Angeles, now leading to the Great Depression. And you have people from Oklahoma and Arkansas coming in. Then you have immigrants coming from Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. All this is because of the rich soil that we live in. So it's about land, it's about profits, and the agriculture empire utilizes the common tool, and you're gonna start seeing the trend. You're seeing it in Flint, you're seeing it in Ferguson, you're seeing it in Baltimore, you're seeing it in New York and Los Angeles, everywhere as well, where they start using the state. And that state is a powerful tool for the rich and those with authority. At the local level, we're seeing that at the Board of Supervisors, we're seeing that at the City Council level, of these draconian laws that are being passed. So this, again, it happens to be the effects, and we have to know who's on the City Council, who's on the Board of Supervisors, and who are the in place for. Myself, I stand hand in hand till this day with Chinatown and residents there and homelessness, is because I represent East Salinas and the LSI. We stand hand in hand because of the farm working community, as well as what has led to Chinatown to become what it is today. People are out there because of a broken leg, a back injury, self-medicate with alcohol because they don't have enough money from a low wage. There's not a true living wage whatsoever in Monterey County. So it continues to be the same case. History repeats itself, Dennis.
Tell us, just say a word about the sort of the struggle, because there is a ton of money coming in from Silicon Valley. There is a battle for the 21st century and what's going to be happening on this land and how the land is going to be managed. This community is right in the middle of that, isn't it?
Yes, it is. To be very brief on it,
We only have a minute.
Steve Forbes came in. Easily 6 figures was poured into this visit, the Agricultural Tech Summit. Porta potties, it cost $4,500 were installed just for this meeting. Just for this meeting, this summit. There was Chinatown homeless encampments on the other side of the railroad tracks. On the other end, you have this white luxury tent, 6 figures. That's what it cost. And to this day, that came off in the general fund, taxpayers' money. So as long as we continue to elect these key people to these positions, we're not going to see a change. Now, what has happened with our current democracy, we need to go ahead and point it. That's why this homeless union has strong potential.
That's the voice of Jose Castaneda, and he is joining us. He's on the Salinas City Council, District 1, elected in 2012, and what a battle. We're gonna hear from him in later shows about some of the struggles that he's in the middle of. But we thank you for joining us. We have one more. Why don't you introduce yourself and give us a sense about why you're in this struggle?
Hi, my name is Wes White. I'm just a community enthusiast at large. You know, I've been paying attention to the city council for the last couple of years, and I mean, the city's got a concept that they call it business friendly, and this is really what goes to the heart of the whole issue. Salinas is in direct competition with the surrounding area, Monterey, Carmel, Gilroy, San Jose, the Bay Area, Santa Cruz. They're vying for business interests, so they're looking for big box interests. It all goes back to tax revenue, and we've got a Taylor Farm building there that's 5 stories tall. When people come, international businesses come, and they see what's almost right across the street from them, and they say, well, what's all that? Oh, that's a bunch of homeless people, you know, a bunch of bums. Well, if you get rid of those people, maybe we'll put a business in here. They're talking about making a new land development, 900 plus acres, where the starting value to purchasing price of a home is going to be $750,000 to $1 million. So they're looking at commuters coming into Salinas, where it's going to be cheaper to come to Salinas and commute to their job, to the Bay Area, Gilroy, everywhere else.
Amazing. All right, well, we have 30 seconds left. I want to bring you back, Anthony Prince, because you have some information for people who are affected or if they want to learn more about what's going on here.
Yeah.
Lean right into that microphone.
Yeah, I'll just announce that people should email Justice for Salinas. That's JUSTICE, then the number 4, then Salinas, all one word, Justice for Salinas at yahoo.com. Justice for Salinas at yahoo.com to get much more information. I want to leave you with this thought. We need to organize the leaders. This is a war, and we don't even have our general staff together, but we've taken a very significant first step to form the Salinas Union of the Homeless. We hope that you'll join us. You'll support us in this fight.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much. We appreciate you. beautiful institution later on tonight. Tune into La Onda Bajita. They will be broadcasting from here as well. Again, we thank you all. Thanks for joining us.